Good morning again. So today's satsang topic is at the heart of silence, the eternal sound of Om. So before I start sharing, I'd like to ask a question. Just a fortnight ago, we celebrated New Year. Quite a few of you, I'm sure, would have taken a few resolutions. How are those coming along? So far, so good? Or already you forgot? Because around New Year, there is a lot of joke going around about resolutions too. A person walks into his favorite ice cream parlor, and then he looks around and he's surprised that there is treadmills and gym equipments everywhere. He's like, "What happened? Why? Weren't you selling ice creams here?" Like, "Yeah, but this is, a seasonal business. After January 30, we will be back to ice cream business." So, habits, they are not easy to change, but New Year is a nice time. It's, appropriate time to review ourselves, introspect, and analyze where we want to go in life, where we are, even spiritually. Are we progressing? How joyful we are? It's a nice time to analyze and make those resolutions and stand firm with it. And Paramhansa Yogananda gives this analogy of habits which keeps us dragging back the force which Swami Kriyananda just wrote about, which I read to you. There's a force which takes us downward, towards the mud. And it's always very active, never sleeps. We have to be alert and attentive that we always keep our energy high. And the habits, it's a part of our subconsciousness. It will try to pull us down. And Paramhansa Yogananda gives this analogy. In ancient Rome, the Roman generals, they had a terrible habit actually. When they catch a prisoner, they tie the prisoner to the chariot and drag them along the streets. And Yogananda says that's what habits do to us. They tie us and drag us through the mud. But he also says that we should tie the habits to the chariot of our willpower, and we should make them our prisoners. And that's the willpower we should have. And he emphasizes that be aware of these negative habits which might draw you down towards the mud. And every New Year, we have few resolutions. But last year and this year, I thought, instead of making my own resolutions, why don't I listen to my guru, Paramhansa Yogananda, what he has to say to me about what should I work on this year. So those of you who do not know or who weren't here on his birthday, which is 5th of January, after his birthday kirtan, we have quotes of Paramhansa Yogananda printed and rolled up in small sheets. And there was a basket, and each of us pick one sheet. So I got mine, and we wanted to work on that. And it's not just, it might look as though it's it's like pulling a straw or out of luck, but it isn't so. Every year I hear amazing experiences and stories from our Guru Bhais. This time I heard a story from one of my friend here. She said that of lately she has been praying to Paramhansa Yogananda, "Master, why don't you come to me? I think we should have a coffee together. I should see you physically. I could give you a hug. And when she took her message, the message said, why come to, this is the message which Lahiri Mahashaya gave to all his disciples who are very eager to come and meet him. And that was a part of that, and she got that. It said, why long to see this bundle of flesh and bones when I am ever reachable within your kutastha? So these messages, although it might seem that we are drawing out, it's a random thing, it does work. So we do pay extra care to what we receive. And I received, resurrect yourself from the littleness of life, the little things that disturb you. And again, I'm taking it seriously, so I'm reading more. And I thought, no, I don't think little things disturb me. But then, it's easy to find fault with others. So I started noticing what little things disturb other people. And I made a list out of that. And then I can see that partly I'm also seeing a projection of myself there. And I was able to make a list of things. Now, to stay alert, to identify those weak moments when our habits make us the prisoners, there are various exercises which we can do. There are many techniques which Paramahansa Yogananda has given us, out of which staying in tune with him, or staying in tune with a God-realized Guru, is one of the best techniques, or one of the best methods to overcome. And when I read more about this message, I want to read it so that I get it correct. It said, resurrect yourself from the littleness of little things that disturb you. Do you think that you are completely unbalanced, ruffled, shattered, whipped, lacking power? No. You have the power. You don't use it. You have all the power you want. There is nothing greater than the power of mind. And he says that the power is in our mind, and it depends on our thoughts. In another lecture, Paramhansa Yogananda was lecturing to an audience, and he looked around and he said, why do you all look different? Why? And he said, it's because of your thoughts. Your physical body is a reflection of your inner thoughts. Your whole life is a reflection of your thoughts. And thoughts and consciousness, they are very close to each other. You can think positive and expand your consciousness, or you can expand your consciousness through meditation, through yogic techniques, and get the right thoughts. It works either ways. They influence each other. And the best way to maintain to be in an expanded consciousness is to refrain from fuzzing about little things. Again, these are Paramahansa Yogananda's words. He says that the more you are in tune with me and refrain from fuzzing about little things, the better you will be. A steady stream of divine power will flow to you from me. So I take that as a message. And he also gives the solution for that. He says, always be in Om, in tune with the Om vibration. When you are in Om, nothing can disturb you or nothing can affect you. So in the heart of silence, which is right now we are pretty silent, but we still cannot hear Om, because he is not just speaking about the outer silence, he is speaking about the inner silence. During the day, there are at least 300 thoughts which crosses our mind per minute, say it is said. And not all 300 thoughts are positive thoughts. And these thoughts, the quality of these thoughts depend on what level of consciousness we are. So by staying in tune with Om, by expanding our consciousness, by meditating on Om, and even if you don't know the technique to meditate, you can chant the chant, I am Om, or just chant Om, Om, Om. Or Swami Kriyananda says Om Guru is a very good mantra to stay in tune with. If we are in touch with Om, then the quality of our thoughts will also be positive. And by changing our consciousness, we can change our habits, and we can hold habits our prisoner. And don't, think that attuning to Om vibration is only reserved for great yogis, or you will listen to Om, or you will be attuned to Om vibration somewhere in the near future or in the far future. No, just affirm that you are in Om. It's an eternal sound, it's already there. We just need to silence our rowdy thoughts, silence our mind which has a mind of its own. So when we do that, we can hear the eternal sound Om. Do not postpone it to some distant future. And always masters and great masters and God, they are encouraging us to aspire to come to them. There's, as the reading before the affirmation said, there's another constant force which is trying to pull us upward. We cannot turn towards the mud. We have to turn towards the divine inner awareness which is always calling us. We have to respond to that calling by meditation. And Nayaswami Bharat once shared a story about a few chimpanzees which were kept in a laboratory inside a cage for almost 30 years. And when there was a law passed that you cannot keep animals in cage to test human products, they were supposed to release them, but they took another 10 years to convince those chimpanzees that they can come out and live out freely, because they were habit bound inside the cage. And he saw the video and he said that the trainer opened the cage and he was saying, come on, come out. And he could not but think that that's what probably Guru and all our Swamiji would be doing to us. Come on, you can do it. It's just that we don't listen to them. And they are very eager and they want to help us. All we need to do is lift our hand and then ask for help and do our sadhana regularly. And through my personal experience, that I know how eager they are for our liberation, because there's an occasional fervor, that intense passion which a devotee feels towards God. So once I was praying to Swami Kriyananda and I was praying to him that Swamiji, I should be a very, very, very good disciple like you are. And in that intense passion, I had the audacity to pray to him, Swami, leave it. I should be a better disciple than you are. And that moment I felt a soothing, cool sensation in my heart which just radiated from the center throughout my body, and I was in tears. I took that as a blessing from Swami, saying that, that's how you have to pray. He was so pleased with the prayer. I could feel that in my heart. So that is the encouragement they offer us. So let's be in tune with Om and destroy the bad habits which are binding us and holding us back, And this is a leap year, so let's take a giant leap towards self-realization this year. And thank you.
So late last night, Hari and I finally got in touch with each other and we were discussing what we are going to talk this morning. And we found out both of us are planning to use the quote that we got on Master's birthday. So here's the message that I received. This is about creativity. Yoganandaji says, do something that nobody else has done. Something that will dazzle the world. Show that God's creative principle works in you. Do something that nobody has done. What do you think? Well, I would have thought that I'm not a creative person. Don't tell me to do such a unique thing. I cannot come up with any idea. But, the important part, the most important part of this message is the last sentence, where he says, show that God's creative principle works in you. When we know our power comes from the greater source, then we can do much more than what we imagine we could do. In the same article that this quote came from, Yoganandaji continues that power, that creative power, is native to the soul, given to all of you, but you have not used it. It is behind you. You must first get yourself in conscious contact with that infinite creative power. Conscious contact. In other words, here's another way of explaining. This is by Swami Kriyananda. He says, creativity means cooperating with grace, opening ourselves to God, and letting Him flow through you. Creativity is not about, creating something unique from this brain, from this body, with this hand. It is about tuning in to the greater source. So what we need to do something that nobody has done is not about, look out and try to see what has been done, what has not been done, and what can I do. This is not that. It's about going inside, going deeper and deeper inside and connect to that source. And how do we do that? One of the ways is to listen to the cosmic vibration of Om. Patanjali in Yoga Sutra said, listen to and be absorbed in Om. And the best way to do that is meditation. Yoganandaji even said, we must not forget that the purpose of meditation is to receive this Holy Ghost, which is Om. In the silence of meditation, we dive deep beneath our restless thoughts, and there we can hear, we can receive that vibration of Om. And what happens when you listen to Om, or at least when you try to listen to Om, is that you realize that you are a part of something bigger, something much, much bigger than ourselves. We become aware that our true, deepest reality is God. And by listening to Om, your consciousness expands. The way you behave, the way you look at things will change. And Patanjali even said that you will gain the power to overcome all obstacles. And when you feel or you realize that you're part of the bigger reality, people around you would feel that's the same. And they will see you that this person is not limited to this body. He is something bigger. He is part of something bigger. And they feel inspired to be around you. Swami Kriyananda said, when you are anchored in Om, nothing can go wrong. And the Master said also the same thing as Hari mentioned. But what is Om? So God, or the unmoving spirit, unmanifested spirit, He vibrated and created or became the universe, became all creation. So that vibration is the Om, and it is God's consciousness always vibrating throughout creation, including each one of us. And again, Nayaswami Bharat, he wrote the book, the Om, the Melody of Love. He said something interesting. He said there's the outward flow of Om, which comes again from God or the spirit vibrating out into creation, to create and to sustain that creation. And there is the inward flow of Om, which is Divine Mother's call to her children, to her creation, that come home, come back to me. That's the inward flow of Om. And last week, or a week, about a week or 10 days ago, a small group of us from Delhi went to Kolkata to celebrate Yoganandaji's birth anniversary there with many other Guru Bhais from around the country. And there I had this experience of tuning into the inward flow of Om. Because for the devotees, for disciples of Yoganandaji, going to his hometown or where he spent his childhood, it's like a homecoming. And I felt that it was his call. He's calling us. Come to my home. Come to my home. In the Bhagavad Gita, there's this the shloka that Krishna says, I make and unmake the universe. Apart from me, nothing exists, O Arjuna. All things, like the beads of a necklace, are strung together on the thread of my consciousness and are sustained by me. So when devotees, maybe 100 of us, gathered in the neighborhood of Yoganandaji's childhood home and did the strolling kirtan, it was literally like the beads of a necklace, because we were in a long line and everyone is chanting his name. Some people playing the guitar, some kirtans, and some people holding the placard and his pictures. And we were Each one of us was the beads of a necklace. And through us, flowing, that the thread that was connecting us was Yoganandaji's consciousness, his love, his joy. And in fact, his consciousness is always flowing through us and connecting us. It's just that in our daily life, it becomes, we get distracted with other things and it becomes difficult to feel. But when we gather, even here, when we gather, it becomes so clear that we are here because the thread is running through us. His love is running through us and calling us to come home, come home. Don't forget where you're from. Nayaswami Bharat said, when you have such a divine experience, any divine experience, it means you are experiencing Om. And this is one of the forms of conscious contact with the infinite that Master was talking about. To have that conscious contact first, to activate, to get your creative power going. So, again, do something that nobody else has done, something that will dazzle the world, and show that God's creative principle works in you. So I would like to invite all of you, let's be courageous and adventurous this year. And whatever it is that you want to do or you are to do this year, get out of the way and let God's creative power take charge and run your life. The power of Om is already within us. It is flowing in us. So all we have to do is try to tune into it, stay connected to that infinite source. Then there's nothing to worry about. Again, I will end with that Swamiji's quote that I said earlier. When you are anchored in Om, nothing can possibly go wrong. Jai Guru.